Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Shadowcast, the podcast discussing all things hidden in the shadows. I am the living shadow. Thank you for watching. So first, let me start off by saying, if you want to get your assassin apparel, it's now available. This is my dragon crop top. Crop top. It is available on my website. Oops, excuse me. Gotta do this thing around. TheLivingShadow.me. TheLivingShadow.me. So if you want to pick that up, just go to that website, TheLivingShadow.me, to pick that up. Along with any other of my products, like I'm wearing the pants to go with it, the dragon sweatpants to go with the crop top. There's also Phoenix stuff, Zodiac stuff, all that stuff available. So check that out. I'm about to get started here with this podcast. Ooh, I'm a little nervous. Ooh, don't ask me why. Because I can tell you exactly why. I'm nervous because we about to do the halftimes. We just had the Super Bowl. It's time for me to talk about the halftimes now. Not the halftime show, because I didn't watch the halftime show, but the halftime elections. That's what I call the midterms, the halftimes. So. Let's get started. Hello. Thank you for joining the Shadowcast, the podcast discussing all things hidden in the shadows. I am the living shadow. Thank you so much for joining us today. Yes. So today, we're going to be talking about politics in 2022. The midterms / halftimes, which I call them halftimes. I might, if I have time, I'm trying to go through a short version of my January 6th take, because it's not that big of a deal to me, to be honest. It's a big deal to them people over there, but at the same, it's like, how some people really, I feel like, be asking for something, and then they get upset when they get it delivered. It's basically that. And I also want to, I want to see how much I have, because I tend to talk, but I can also talk fast. I want to go through basically what I want to see happen for these halftimes, and the things I want on my list for the people who are going to be running in 2024. Things I want them to focus on. Things that I feel like would be beneficial for us to focus on and really get behind and change up. So, stay tuned. It's going to be a pretty big episode. I'm going to try not to cuss them out as much, but if they acting stupid, they don't. Y'all know I really do not like when people act stupid. I do not like people being slow. If you want to see the video of this podcast, check out the Shadowcast podcast on YouTube. You can see me wearing my brand new assassin apparel, which you can pick up on my website, TheLivingShadow.me. TheLivingShadow.me. Pick up my assassin apparel. I have crop tops, hoodies, tank tops, long sleeve shirts, short sleeve shirts, sweatpants, gaiters for, like, you can wear as a gator mask to cover your face, and also to cover your hair, because I slept in my Ophiuchus one last night to cover my hair up as I slept, and it was great. I slept in fashion. Yeah. So, put all that out there. I really am trying to push the apparel. I also still have my spiritual stuff, the Sage, the Palo Santo, everything like that. All that stuff is still there, still available. So do check that out. Thank you. Okay, sorry, y'all. My food got delivered. I have to put this in there because I had to make a couple segments. All right, let's get started. Okay. So, first and foremost, actually, yeah, I really want to talk about this taxes thing and this Build Back Better. So, there's been a lot of news about Build Back Better, which was the plan that Joe Biden had to bring back a whole bunch, to try and really rejuvenate America, basically. Some people may know, some people not know. So I feel like the jury is still out because I saw there was a $10,000 version of the plan. Not 10,000, 10 trillion. $10 trillion version of the plan. Now, with that being said, there is that's a 10-year plan, so it'll be $1 trillion a year, which they spend more than that on military bullshit anyway. For what, I don't know. And if you think they ain't trying to do, like, who are we fighting? Nobody. So why are we spending more on the military budget if we just get out of a war? He pulled the troops out of Afghanistan. He pulled the troops out of the Middle East. So why are we further funding the military if we are fighting less people? If we literally took ourselves out of the war in the Middle East that we weren't even doing anything for, that we were there for 20 years for whatever reason, still I just blame Bush. So why add more money to that instead of more money to our infrastructure, which they really want to do? Again, they talk about the two blockades to that, where Joe Manchin, Kirsten Sinema, not just them, they're just the figureheads for their donors who block them because they're paying them. Joe Manchin got over $250,000 to block this bill. Already rich people getting already richer. It's disgusting. We already know what this is. More than $250,000 just to block this bill. This bill had the child tax credit, paid family leave, infrastructure reform, green technology, which we all need to save the fucking earth. But, far be it for me. I don't know if these people, you see, so if you ever see the real news, like SpaceX, which is Elon Musk's rocket that they're trying to get off space with, because Elon Musk has a rocket, Jeff Bezos had a rocket, probably still has a rocket. These, they get rich and they want to leave the earth, right? I don't blame them. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, but y'all done got rich. Are y'all going to do anything to help the earth? Like, it is so, like, the thing I'm stuck on is with this Build Back Better. Part of it was to, rejuvenate America, like I said. But on the economic front, which is the big front to me, that still did not do anything to really change the income inequality that we have in America. And I say that because now a whole bunch of people don't like what we do here. As far as, like if people talk about Elon Musk or whatever, things like that, or richer people who do these type of things. But in essence, looking through, the way I call them cowardly politicians, the way these cowardly politicians want to govern, because they're all about trying to get money from somebody, right? Who are their donors? Who can they get money from? Who has the most money they can give to them? So they want to appease the people with the most money. They want to have the most money. Okay, well, what does that mean? So if them with the most money, they will have the most power because most people can be bought, which them the people who getting bought right there, the politicians already. So I'm just, hello, if you ain't know, them the people who getting bought already. So it's toxic the way that we have our money structure, which I still don't understand because it's a whole thing about national debt and I'm still trying to wrap my head around. But point being, there's a whole big thing about money. And the way that they have everything set up now, it's like, like an Elon Musk person, richest person on the planet, supposedly. They say that, and I believe it as far as like monetarily, but a lot of people are like really disheartened because of how his attitude is about life. A lot of people don't like the way his attitude is about life. And I can see why, because with all this money comes all this power, and this person who is not really the type of person that a lot of people want to see in power. by judging by his attitude in his personal life or whatever, or how he carries himself. A lot of people don't like that attitude. But again, that power has not come because he had a good attitude. That power came because he made money. So it's a very disconcerting, a very it's a very concerning thing. Sorry, I'm drinking this tea, which I like a lot. But it's a very concerning thing that he just does. Like, it's a very concerning thing to me that this is how we judge who to listen to and who not to listen to, is by who has the most money. But that generally tends to be the thing, right? Not looking at their merits as people, but if they have money or not. Now, some people are good and they can be known for, whatever their good deeds, their qualities, everything like that, what they stand to do, like known for their work, known for their business, known for their ideologies. Not a lot of people can do that, okay? And again, I am not in a podcast studio, so if y'all want to ever fund me, Cash App, Live Michelle 13, I will appreciate every donation given upon me. Thank you. Be blessed. So, with that being said, we have these people, right? Now, if you look at what we got going on here with the Build Back Better thing, they're still talking about it. It's kind of dead in the water a little bit. I don't know if it's coming back or not. Who knows? Okay. These people say you can't revote on stuff. This is that. I done gave up after hearing about it for 2 years now, and it's still not getting anywhere. It's like, I need y'all to focus on, redo something else. Okay, instead of Build Back Better, repackage that or whatever. It was supposed to be a $10 trillion plan. That's the one I seen. That was that I said. And then they said there's another one that was written for $6 trillion. They brought it down even more. They cut it in half, mutilated it, this, that, and the third, to try and make it swallowable for the Joe Manchin in the Kirsten Cinema to try and appease their donors so they can still get something done. But it still didn't end up happening, right? A lot of people are criticizing Biden because he can do more through executive action than he claims that he's really doing. A lot of the times for a lot of different areas. It may not be, in a particular area, but he can still do some more things in executive action to get some things done and make some things more progressive. Now, y'all may not like me because I guess I'm super left leaning. I just feel like doing what is going to actually work and help people, okay? So, if that makes me left leaning, then that makes me left leaning. But that's just what it is, okay? We got the half times. It's 2022, so that means later on in the end of the year, I'm recording this now in February. By November, there's going to be a vote. If you all are not aware, they are doing voter suppression in certain areas of the country. Why? We all know why, because they want to control and manipulate everything while claiming that they don't want anybody to control and manipulate them. Narcissistic as fuck. Okay, we all know the politicians are like that. Everybody's already said that, okay? If you look at Florida, what they're doing, and what they've done in Florida is the Republican Party in Florida has gone around changing elderly people from Democrats to Republicans in Florida. Now, I'm not 100% sure if Florida works the same way that Michigan works. Because I know the way that Michigan works is they're primarying people. You can only vote with your party in the primaries. So, say they primary somebody who is actually good on the Democrat side versus someone who's toxic on the Republican side. If you are a Democrat, a former Democrat, now Republican, changed over by these people in this Republican Party who don't even tell people about this, then you won't be able to vote for the good candidate that would actually probably help you. Who do they target? They target elderly people. Now, we already know from every polling data that's out there, they say that elderly people are the people who vote more often. So they're effectively suppressing votes. Voting rights are getting chopped off left and right. They've been attacking that for the longest. So really now, we talk about democracy, but it's so funny to me because it's I believe it was Kamala Harris who was talking about democracy being on the chopping block, or trying to fight to even see that's a good model to have, because all these other countries do not have it. And all these other countries don't seem to have as many problems as we have. Now, they have their own problems, don't get me wrong, but they don't seem to have this particular issue because they don't vote as much as we do. Or they don't consider that to be such a thing, to a staple of their country. Us in the United States, seems like we don't value that either, because they're trying to cut it off, because they just want people to vote the way they want them to vote, without properly educating them into why they should be voting this way, just trying to trick them into voting that way. So that's already disgusting in and of itself. As I was saying before with the money thing, so again, you're following the money over here, right? So the Republican people normally, they tend to be the rich blowhard. Conservative people, and I just say conservative people in general, not all Republicans are conservative, but conservative people in general tend to just want to keep everything the way it is because it's working for them, and damn everybody else. That's just what it seems like to me. Okay? So as we're watching this to look about what's going to be in the half times, Build Back Better didn't end up happening. Where now people are looking to like richer people, because the richer people have the money that the government says they don't have. Now, one thing I find interesting is that the government really could have this money from these people who own these companies or these rich people if they really wanted to. The only reason why they don't is because they're too busy trying to appease them by tax cutting them, and instead they're shooting their own selves in the foot. Why do I say that? Okay, so before Trump, previously in America, okay, so before we had Trump, the corporate tax rate was 35%. Since Trump came and lowered it down to 21%. Now, since then, a company like Amazon, there's been years where they didn't pay any taxes, and there's also in the last year I think they paid 6%. Now, mind you, I want y'all to keep rolling with me here. If we had back to the original 35% tax rate they were supposed to have, over the last couple of years they made $78 billion. That extra 29% that got cut back over, that would have been going to the U.S. government in order to pay for these things, that we wouldn't have to be struggling and hearing people complain about how we're going to pay for this and that, but they don't ever ask about that military budget. So, we will be hearing them talk about this money that they would have. You know why? Because it'll be over $10 billion. $10 billion from Amazon. They would have had it. $10 billion. That's awful. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could have been had money for this stuff. Talking about, oh, we don't have money for this and that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And if you can't have it, find it. It's sitting right in front of your face. You know who got the money. You know where it's coming from. The same people who you're afraid to ask for is the people who you're going to need to ask for. The same people who you're afraid to stand up against to get it is the same people you're going to have to go toward to get it. Because you done took it off from all the regular people. Everybody else broke. Everybody else dry. You got to get it from them. Can't nobody give you money that they don't have. So they backed themselves into a fucking corner. Great. How smart is that? But not at all, to be honest. I don't even want to make a joke about that because I don't think they'd be intelligent enough to catch them. I'm trying to even be sarcastic. Let's be real. And then, why does this do this? I had my little sound going. Why does it do this? Hold on, y'all. Just a second. Because that drives me nuts when that happens. Okay. So, next. Because this is a big thing that has like bothered me so deeply in this. Okay. Next, the news stories that I hear, right? If we're not talking about that, we're talking about someone dying. Do you know how many people have died from gun violence? Not regular civilian, not from civilian gun violence, but from police gun violence and police brutality and police with that shoot first, ask questions later motif, especially when it comes to people of color, such as myself. If you're watching this video, you will see my skin is not white. Not saying I'm racist or anything like that, but hey, I know when I got in this body that people be coming after this skin tone. Apparently, like I'm afraid to go outside the house sometimes. I'm just being real honest. So, and I'm not afraid of the regular people. I'm afraid of the fucking police with the guns, because the police seem to be killing more people than the regular people at this point, especially people of my color. People like they tend to be killing more people. You know what else happened today? Well, not today, but you know what else happened involved with people killing black people? They hunted down this FedEx man. Why? They hunted him down. Who knows? Still don't know. They say he looks suspicious delivering packages, doing his job. I don't know how you look suspicious doing your damn job. Do they not expect black people to have a job? It's just riddled with racism all in that. They hunted him down. His name was D. Monterio. He was a FedEx driver. Oh, excuse me, he is a FedEx driver. I'm trying to get my better tense when I'm saying things, but I just feel like we just need a whole mindset change around guns in general. We have Republican right-wing people who are so afraid that they're going to take your guns. They're going to try and take your guns. They're going to try and take your guns. No, these people are not trying to take your guns. I am the person who says, take the fucking guns. You don't need that fucking shit. All you're doing is killing people. Now, I don't see that coming from a lot of the Democratic side. A lot of progressive are very much saying that we need to do some form of gun control. I say strip them these people who got them. They don't need them. What you need it for? Almost every single time I hear about someone having a gun, someone gets shot. That doesn't sound it doesn't sound that groundbreaking, honestly, to me. But I feel like to other people, they're like, what do you mean? People with guns shoot people? Ain't that the whole reason why you got a fucking gun, to shoot somebody? Get rid of them. And they're usually innocent random people, or the fucking police killing somebody. Point blank. We don't need this shit. And you know what? If we stop having regular people have guns, maybe we wouldn't need to be spending trillions of dollars on the military to fight nobody, because apparently we ain't even fighting nobody. Ain't no war, so why are we spending so much money on the military? I don't know. Clearly, to me, from my worldview, the scientists and the doctors that they're really caring about are the war doctors, the war scientists. They care more about making an atom bomb than they do about your vaccine cure. That's what it seemed like. So again, I'm a proponent of saying people get the vaccine, get your vaccine. However, I do understand when people are nervous and they don't want to take that because they don't know what they put in there, especially when these people seem to worry more about military and killing other people than they do about helping other people. And it's proven again and again in their policies. They really tend to care more about hurting somebody else and causing harm to somebody else than they do about helping somebody else. And that's the reputation that they've left, and that's what they've taught people. So I completely understand if you do not want to take the vaccine, although I'm not trying to be canceled like that Joe Rogan. So take your vaccine. Okay, do your own research. I ain't going to try and give you vaccine research on this podcast right now at all. There may be an episode where I do. I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and exit out of everything. But, people do get upset and irritated by this, as we've seen. We've seen people get upset and irritated by what goes on around us. Look no further than January 6th. January 6th is a display of how people get irritated with around us. Now, the problem is that those people were the wrong people to get irritated about the wrong things. So those people were just irritated that Trump wasn't there continuing to ruin everything for people, as he was doing previously, right? And they walked up in that building and they basically threw a little toddler fit, running and trashing and stealing everything, right? Scaring all these other people, scaring the people who are over there of civility, who were like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm getting traumatized because why are these heathens coming in here and doing this? And it's funny because they are heathens. They are heathens. Now, if you look at those pictures and look at what's going on, the majority of those people are white. And I'm not trying to say nothing against white people or anything like that, but I want this to be known that, again, if somebody of my skin color, if somebody black, if somebody brown, if somebody of some minority descent walked up in there and it was a clear visual minority descent, because, again, we're not even fighting racism, we're fighting colorism more than racism. I want that to be known, because most people, they don't care what your actual race is. They look at the color that you are and determine your race from your color. So, or your genetic features or whatever. That's what they kind of use to piece you together. Okay? So we look at these people and we see these white people coming up in here and they did that and they got a slap on the wrist. I don't believe any of them have been put in jail for that, anything like that. Now, flip the script real fast. It was someone like me. You see, I seen on the news where someone, they literally, the cop had a no-knock warrant, walked in and shot someone dead on the couch. So you mean to tell me if I went in there and showed my frustrations for this the same way these other people did for January 6th, that I would not be just killed cold dead on the spot? You got to be kidding yourselves. It's a double standard around a whole bunch of shit, and a lot of it comes from color. Colorism. This country, they want to act like it's so great, but it's built upon slavery, and it's still there. Slavery and racism, still there. Still involved. Still there. Still with this mentality. And I also want to get to something else here in a minute, too, but I may have to do another podcast for that, because I want to talk about that in regards to people, black people or African American descent people. But my point being is that we have all these people doing these things. They're very, very traumatic, right? To me, it's traumatic to see these people walk up in there, especially knowing that they have the power to really walk up in there, fuck that shit up, and just get news attention. They have the power, but they're fighting for the wrong damn shit. If you're trying to get Trump back to fuck you over, I don't know for why, because I guarantee you none of those people who were up in there were being helped by any of his policies or anything he signed over there. They just thought he was a goofy dude with the haystack comb over or whatever, right? I don't know. What people follow the leader, I guess. I don't. It baffles me to this day to even understand that, right? It baffles me. But we have these people coming and they're traumatized, and the whole point that I'm trying to make is that these people on like left side, progressive things like that, it's like they seem to be so afraid to fight and ask for certain things. And I do understand that sometimes it is an organizational thing, things like that. We do have the squad, we do have the people, but it's like at a certain level in the totem pole, it's like there's the regular people who really want to do something and who really want to like make changes. You can tell it's a different standard for those people versus the people who are conservative and want things to go back to the way that it was. People can complain all day they want something to go back to the way that it was, and it was no longer good when it wasn't good for everybody. It was good. It was more self-serving for them. And people seem to have no issues. Like, yeah, you know. And here's the reason why I think it's an issue. It's because the same people from that January 6th thing, who go in that Congress, there's not that many people who were up in the Congress who disagree with them. There's not enough people who disagree with those people. There's not enough people who disagree with those people's ideology and those people's methods and those people's reasoning for doing what they did. Now, if it had been a black person doing it, everybody would disagree with their methods. Oh, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that type of thing. A lot of people had this whole discussion about should they have done that, should they have not done that, blah, blah, blah. The point of the matter is it would have been a whole different conversation had it would have been black people who did this. That's the discussion that I'm kind of wanting to have, because I already see it coming. If a dude can get shot on the couch, like, I get nervous if I see a police officer just anywhere in my vicinity. Just leave me the hell alone. I ain't even do nothing illegal. It's legal to smoke this here. I'm in Michigan. It's legal to smoke it. I'm cool. I'm sitting in my house. I ain't hurting nobody. I'm not doing anything illegal, but I damn sure don't need no police coming around me, because I don't know what the hell y'all got going on. Y'all, these people then got to the point where they didn't see black and they decide they want to go hunting like we some fucking deer or some shit. I don't like that. And it comes down from slavery. It comes down from that, from those people thinking that we're less than, and it trickles down even today. And there's parts of it that still are at the top, at our governmental foundation. You know, they talk, and these same people want to talk about the what is it? Because it's not the Declaration of Independence I'm thinking about. It's the Constitution. But they want to bring up both, like, these people are like they're stupid, okay? They're just like, I don't even want to like be that person to call people stupid like that, but they are. Like, they want to complain about the Constitution. Like, some of them say they don't want to change it. The thing that they love so much is changes that's happened to it. Freedom of speech is one they tout all the time. It's a change that's been put in there. That's the Bill of Rights, the amendments, the First Amendment. The First Amendment, amendment means change, as in they changed it. The very thing you're saying, oh, we don't change the Constitution because I love my freedom of speech. The freedom of speech was put in there as a change because they didn't have that before. They added it. It was an addition. They added it. An addendum. And they added it. An amendment. They added it. Like, they're all the same thing, you know? The right to bear arms. Again, I just went on this whole little thing about how these people with the guns and all that kind of stuff. They don't want people to take away their guns. Second Amendment is an amendment. Like, they can go to a 7th grade history class. I was raised by a history teacher. So to me, this is like common sense. To them, it's not. But a lot of these people, again, half the people I'm talking about who go through this are not in the government. The other half are actually in the government themselves, who believe these idiotic things, which is my bigger issue. Like, I get the standard a regular voter doesn't, may not understand this stuff, and you know what? It may not matter because they're suppressing their vote anyway. They really, if you listen to what I'm saying, they suppress their vote anyway. They've trapped a whole bunch of things. They put a whole bunch of people in a whole bunch of traps. They've suppressed their vote. The people who do go out to vote, they change their party so they can't vote for the right things. They are maliciously manipulating things in a terrible fucking direction. So what do we have for these freaking half times? That's what I call them, the half times. So what we got to do, to me, if you are somebody who actually cares about, I don't know, trying to see a better world for yourself, like, there's, to me, is a level. I don't know if you all have ever, if you experience this, if you don't, if you watch news, if you don't have to watch news, but, you see things changing around you, and I'm sure that you also can understand that, or if you've ever been put in that position where you get in trouble for something that you didn't even know was wrong because you didn't know they changed something, but they changed it right up under your feet. They do that a lot. They're doing that. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a whole, some people do that and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, the government does that to you. I'm letting you know that now. And not just the government, but the people who work, the donors, and there are people who will do that maliciously and in their parts and in their positions. And some of them do have positions of power. So do please take note that not every single thing has been orchestrated for your highest, bestest good by these people who say that just because they say that. Those are the points I'm trying to make. Okay, I'm not trying to spread no coronavirus propaganda. My show ain't that big anyway, but I'm not trying to have nothing to stifle me from getting bigger. So, I seen the whole Joe Rogan thing, and Lord knows I'm sick of hearing about it, and I never listened to him or watched his show anyway, so it was not, I don't even want to be, I pay attention now because I'm a podcaster, so I was like, I have to pay attention, but, So, we're going to talk about something here, alright? Here's the things I want to see, the policies I want to see people run on, the things I want to see people, talk about when we talk about the half times, or the midterm elections. Okay, these are the things I want to see people discuss. Banning guns and assault rifles from civilian possession. They should not have them. These people should not have them. They do not need a fucking gun. And I know I'm saying that, and I live in Michigan, y'all. I'm in the middle of Michigan. All these people are country up here. The Midwest, the Bible Belt, whatever. These people got a Bible and a Glock. Okay, these people they packing. These people at home talk about the Bible and they pull out their Glock. I didn't try to sell them insurance before. I done been to their houses. I done knocked on their doors. I don't even want to go through that no more because a lot of it was very, very traumatic. To be very, very honest with you. Because you see these people out here with the same races as people. They may not be in the bigger cities. They out in the country, in the fields and the sticks. They out there. You leave the city, you go into the rural area. They out there. The hicks and the sticks. They out there. They are out there. Okay? We need to ban these people from having guns. These are the people who rise up and start that January 6th bullshit. These are the people who get up and decide they want to go up there because they feel emboldened because they have their guns and they want to fight for they want to fight to keep suppressing people and oppressing people and knocking people down. Now, if these people wanted to fight for something great and something progressive and something more helpful and something more equal and something more full of equality, then yeah, I would be like, okay, let's not necessarily keep the guns, but yeah, let's even have them fight out there, or let's try to work with them. But they're not even work with them, because the people who would want to even work with them and think they can actually help them are the people that they trying to destroy. So ban those assault rifles, ban the guns from civilians, honestly, and I think we need to rethink what kind of guns police even carry, what we do with these guns, shipping these guns to other countries. Just rethink the entire machine weaponry ideology. And why is it that people are thinking war first instead of love first? But they claim that they want the love first, but they're thinking war first, and they're acting war first. I say a $20 to $25 minimum wage, depending on company size. Yes, I bumped up to 20, and I know Bernie said a $50 living wage, and that was several years ago at this point. And now, because of inflation and because of other random things, inflation and other prices rising, the minimum wage needs to rise beyond that $15, because that's no longer livable, especially if you are a single person. If you are a single person trying to live, that is not like the $50 is not acceptable. You have way too many bills between rents, car payments, car insurance, renter's insurance, standard things that you would need to have, food, water, necessities, making sure you pay the bills for all that stuff, the utilities, everything like that. That in and of itself, I already came up with $1,500. It's like rent $700 in most places, $600-700 in most places, $800 if you even in a cheaper area. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these areas, if they rise up, if you go to a different area, you go to a better, more established area, the rents are over $1,000. You don't even make but $1,000 off minimum wage at $7.25 right now. And yes, $15 would be great, but $15 is still just double that. We're on triple that now. It needs to be tripled at this point. Really, it shouldn't be less than 21, but it is what it is. I say that depends on company size, between 20 and 25. If you have a bigger company, of course you can afford to pay the $25 an hour. If you have a smaller company, pay the $20 an hour. I would slightly say, if you were like a baby company, like you have less than 5 employees, then like $15 an hour, like a family-owned place or a family-owned business, something like that. But again, that to me is even a stretch, because that's not paid family medical leave and child care. Of course, that's always been a thing. As far as like a discussion, it needs to be brought back up, popularized again, build back better, repopularize this idea. And by family leave and medical leave, I do mean both the mother and the father of the child. So both parental and maternal paid family leave. I believe in that, and I believe in 3 months for that. So definitely for that. Because why? That is a crucial time in the child's development. I will tell you, from my own personal life, I was adopted at 5 months old, okay? Them 3 months that I had, or 3, whatever, I don't even know if I had like a month and a half with my mother before the mother who birthed me. I'm just being honest. Like, I may not even have, that's a whole thing. Just even hearing them fighting about that is honestly, that's when that made me fucking cry. Because I'm like, who knows? If they had this, maybe I wouldn't have had to have been adopted in the first place. Maybe maybe she could have been held on long enough, or they could have been held on long enough to even keep me. But people don't think about the actual life of the child that they're talking about when they're talking about these things. The child's life, that's the very early parts of a child's life. Their very early development. Yes, your parents should be there for that and be fully paid and able to really make sure that they're raising a good child at that time. Not some of these fucking yakkos and wackos out here trying to just do whatever. And child care. So when they do go back to work, they can find somewhere. That 3 months, people have to take time for things. Like, what if they're trying to find someone who can really take care of their kid while they're going to nanny, or they're trying to find like a daycare center or whatever they're trying to do? They have to weed people out. 3 months is a while to even do that. And that's even if they want to give up, have to start learning how to like give up their kid to people. Even if they want to pay their grandma in the back, give them some way to pay their grandma in the back. Run some kind of funds for that. The same way, Medicaid. I work for a company that was associated with Medicaid for the customer service side, Medicaid does have a thing where, like, if it's a home health care worker or you're taking care of a sick or elderly parent, you can, or a sick or elderly family member, you can apply to get paid to do that through the state as like an estate, like, like, okay, I'm doing this thing so that you don't have to get someone from the state to do this. There's a way you can apply for that type of program. They should be able to apply for that type of program for childcare. Look, you are not providing me with a proper daycare center. I'm applying to do this so I can use this amount of money to pay this daycare person. The person's going to take care of my child as I go to work and do everything else like that. I believe that there should be any customer service job or position or anything where you have to deal with people for an extended period of time, there should be an on-site therapist and or counselor. If you think about these people, they're acting like they're fucking children anyway. So if they're in school, who do they have? They have a guidance counselor to provide them with some sort of guidance, some sort of help, someone they can talk to, instead of just running to the principal's office and getting suspended. They can have someone who work out why they even did the fucked up shit that they did in the first damn place, and try to actually help them. They should be in all these customer service places, especially if you're someone you're talking on the phone. If you're talking on the phone to somebody, or they should be available on site. Yeah, if they have an on-site thing in an office, they should be available on site. If we are working from home, however we're working from home, they should be someone that can virtually be chimed in or scheduled an appointment with throughout the day that's hired in by this company. And again, these people should have things outside of the company as well. But if we're going to push all this pressure on this, then push all this pressure on the companies. Pay this $25 an hour. And my issue with this whole entire thing is that if we take things off the company, like what is it? Oh, I need to put my heater on. Sorry, y'all. It got cold down here. And we put things if we take things out of the country, out of the company's hands, like insurance, right? Universal healthcare. Let's get universal healthcare passed. We don't have to worry about someone getting the insurance depending upon their job, their occupation, which is stupid anyway. Because again, that comes with the idea that someone, you're just going to give your life to this job. Have you, I don't know if these people even thought that through, how psychologically damaging that is to give your life to a job, to depend on a job that much. To be like, oh, I'm going to depend on this company so much. This company is going to be the only thing that ever saves me. I'm going to work here forever and ever and ever because I get my benefits through here. No, you should get your benefits just for being alive. They shouldn't come from the job you work at. They should not come from that. Whew. Oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. I am so sorry. Oh my gosh. I don't mean to be that person, but I started this new tea, and it's sea moss. And they said I want to try it because sea moss is supposedly to have a lot of nutrients that you need. And I really looked it back up. It does contain a lot of stuff that I'm not currently getting, along with some zinc. That's like the two big halves. So I put them both in my tea here, and it brought up all my phlegm at the same time. I didn't mean to be gross like that, but that really what happened. It tastes good though, but oh my goodness, it works. But yeah, these people, I'm speaking as someone who has done those positions. Okay, I going to see, literally, there will be times where I would leave my job and go see the therapist I had to get myself, whatever. It was great to even just say okay, so I can talk to somebody about this shit. And a lot of people want to do this with their friends and stuff like that, but it's not, there's someone with a professional opinion that can sit there and tell you about these manipulative tactics that people use on a daily basis, so you don't feel like you're absolutely crazy for talking to these people who use these manipulative tactics, because it's just a regular part of life now. That makes you feel so much more better about even what your thought process. Okay, that needs to be a standard in all these different companies and things. Just straight up. Free pre-K and college, yes. Why? Because the college degree is not worth anything. You see so many people with super high degrees who don't know shit, and you see the people who are dropping out of high school who fucking smart as a whip. And the amount of money you got, it's not dependent on that, because the people with the big money didn't even go through and do all that. The people who went to college end up having less money because of student loans, which they need to cancel completely. So we just get rid of all that. That was really the next thing on the list, is no student loans. Just get rid of all these things on the list, okay? I mean, not get rid of things, but get rid of all the loans. Just get rid of all the loans. Just get rid of it. Like, get rid of that whole idea. We switch this thing around, because that's not going to help anything. Again, if you're looking for the money for that, I spoke about $10 billion from one company, Amazon. You can just rake that in right now by changing that tax rate back and demanding that fucking money and really going after these people. Let alone the actual billionaires, the actual sales. That's just the company. What about the billionaires who own the company? How much can you rake from them? Together they had a combined. So together they had a combined. Well, I believe it was like $1 trillion, a combined $1 trillion in the wealth. Literally, if you divided that up and took theirs, y'all, these people, they have all this money. It's available. Don't try and tell them that they don't. Okay, these rich people at the top, they got the money. It's available. Like, they have ways of getting the money from these people that aren't shiesty, that aren't sneaky. We see that you have so much more, while other people have so much less. Please help us give to the poor. It's not them trying to come and take from you or anything like that, because I guarantee you, if you listen to this, you're probably not one of the people that they don't take anything from. You don't make enough. I ain't even trying to be shady or rude, but you probably don't make enough. Unless you're making like $100,000 a month, I don't think you're making enough. Joe Manchin over there got paid $250,000, $260,000 to say you don't get no money. So you ain't making enough to make these, like, to really be upset if I'm saying they take the money from the rich people. Okay, I'm just being honest with you. That's the thing that bothers me a lot. Mandated green technology construction. So I'm just sharing this because I have ideas for things. So, hey, if someone's listening, pick me up, put me out there for real, because I have ideas for things. But I believe that any new building constructed beyond 2022 should have some form of green technology involved in it, and we should have different levels of green technology. Whether it's solar panels, whether it's some sort of water infusion to recycle the water, or whether it is some sort of like wind technology. I don't necessarily mean the house has to have it, but the general area I feel like needs to have the wind technology, something like that. Something that will, or some sort of energy bank, or something that will kind of like redo this so that we can really get this thing going. Anything that's new being built should have some form of green technology pushed into it. Okay, I'm more for the solar panel thing. I believe all these places should, just pump them up with solar panels. Which I'm not saying that's going to be the best, excuse me. That's not the only solution to this green technology thing, but it is, I believe, the easiest and more the most comprehensible. If people want to build anything else, they have to go through an old building, which means what? People will reuse the older buildings that we have, because there's a lot of old, dying, decayed buildings that are just sitting there abandoned, taking up space, and either we need to take these places and replant trees and flowers and things like that there to help even the betterment of the planet, or if you're going to build something else, reuse it. I mean, we still should sit there and do to take it down and do that, but give it a chance to do that, or reconstruct houses or things like that instead of just trying to build something new. There's a lot of affordable houses that were already around that got destroyed that can be rebuilt, and I understand that a lot of people are worried about big houses and things like that. A lot of people are not trying to do affordable housing, but we don't need it because you've made it so we cannot afford housing. I mean, hello. Profit caps and increased corporate tax rate. I believe that corporate tax rate should go back to at least that 35%. Honestly, I feel like it should probably be 40%. We should pump it up there because just to recoup the benefits that we have been missing out all this time because these people do not want to regulate and be fucking lazy. I also believe there should be profit caps for certain types of companies, especially like pharmaceutical companies. Pharmaceutical companies, insurance companies, companies that we really don't need. Why? Because we're trying to get to this universal health care. Universal health care, which they said they're going to be starting in California, a version of that, a single payer healthcare system. I don't know if that went through or not, because I also see a story that says that they may not have gotten that through. But honestly, we need that single payer healthcare system, branded universal healthcare. We already are paying for healthcare in our taxes. I know, I literally just got like $99 taken out of my paycheck the last time I got a paycheck. Okay, so they paying for all these different things for that, and again, Social Security, all this, like whatever they're doing, these financial systems and things that they have in place need to be completely rethought out, and they know that, but they're not doing it. I don't know if they're just financially illiterate enough to not do that, or if they just say, "Oh, we'll just pull it off because we're fine," and just throw it on them, and they'll just have to figure something out, or what. I don't know, like what their idea behind this is, but I'm not for it. Okay, I want universal health care. I want to make sure that we get rid of all the fucking like bullshitty ass excuses. Internet and platform regulation, as far as for equal distribution and equal bandwidth and everything like that. Like there should be equal in ways to get the internet. You know what I mean? Like equal news, equal. And I don't mean by equal news as saying like, you know, I get that some people may be right wingers. Show them left wing articles. I guess some people might be left wingers. Show them right wing articles. Whatever. Like you still want to see articles from both sides. You can make a proper decision for yourself. But there should be some form of like, you know, equal. Like in I don't know who's going to be deciding like where are these are coming from for that, but there should also be a thing that decides like which one is left and which one is right for that, because apparently a lot of people do not understand where they stand in a lot of that stuff, which makes a lot of sense. I get that. Like a lot of us are on the outside looking in, like trying to figure out what the hell's going on. That's like me trying to watch the Super Bowl. Like I understand how to play the game of football, I understand like what's going on, but I'm like, I don't know who these players are. That's what I feel like watching it. It's a whole sports bowl. They, you know, the Roman Colosseum, that's where they did their governmental business and their political business. A lot of times they had fights and things like that. That was their entertainment center. That was their big dome where they could, you know, do their business in. That was their, they all had this stuff in like one spot. They built one building and they had it all in one spot. Like they did, like that's what a lot of people consider to be the TV. In a lot of different ways, you get all your stuff in this one spot. But I'm just saying, we need to do voting protection as well. Voting protection and information. They have a lot of voting information out there, but protect it. People gotta protect the right to vote, because why? They're taking it. Hello, I just talked about that Florida thing earlier. Transportation infrastructure, especially fixing roads and things like that. Also, they had Build Back Better had a whole bunch of things in there for getting charging stations for electric vehicles and electric vehicles in there as well. I'm saying like things like that, all those types of things is we can do. Buses, subways. Well, subways are already kind of more green technology anyway, but like buses, trains, you know, switch these things over as much as we can. Even the cars that carry the electric cars. That's the thing for me. I'm watching this car carrying this car that carries the truck that carries the electric cars, and it's not even electric itself. That's what's driving all these miles across the country. These cars doing that. Congressional reform, as far as ending bribes, so they can't be lobbied like this. The donors, the people, the persuaders, the people who are really running the freaking country, the rich people who can pay for these people just to change their mind real quick. How much take for you to change your mind? That's all it is. How much take for you to change your mind? And the people who got the money will pay it. Zero. Now, I also believe there should be zero stock trading or purchasing while you're in office. So again, if you're a civilian, you can do that all you want to, this and that. If once you are in office, you're no longer allowed to. The same way they don't do insider trading. The same way that's illegal. Those Ponzi schemes. The same way, like all these different things that are up here, like that should be illegal to do that, because these people, they are currently, as I'm saying this today, are allowed to do that. So they can walk up in there, go to Congress, meet and schmooze with all these people who are already fucking rich, and talk to them and get paid from them. And they also will tell them like different stock tips and trips, whatever. Like, who knows? Who knows? I'm talking about the $250,000 Joe Manchin got to say no to Build Back Better. So who knows how many other things they told him in stock options and stock trading and insider trading to boost his stock portfolio to even more than that. Who knows how much these people, like, investigate it. How much people do they really have? But I'm saying they shouldn't be allowed to do that while they're in office. They should not be allowed to do that while they're in office. I'm calling for complete media reform, and as far as for reporting on various different things. Mass media has become an echo chamber, and that needs to be stopped. Do we need to have more people reporting on different stories and not just what everybody else has said? And the government needs to also really redo and how to put out how they're handling things like that. They need to have their own version, or they have all these people on staff. What are they doing? Really? I don't understand. If they really have all these people on staff, what are these people on staff really doing? Are they really walking around here like record? Like, they can be recording and letting us know, informing us of all these different things that go on. They can have central places for that where they literally do that on a regular basis. We shouldn't have to be hearing like every 2 weeks or something about what's actually going on. We can sit there and really they can tell us on a day-to-day basis if they're working on a day-to-day basis. For real, they can. Of course, I'm going to be for trans rights for sports and anti-bullying for that. Race and gender hate crimes, I want them to be properly enforced. I don't see these things being properly enforced. I want the trans rights to be talked about, but again, I do and I don't. And I'll tell you why I don't. And it's not because of anything against trans people. It's just because the people get lost and confused in that, and they miss the substance of what really is going on and about the bigger issues that are really bothering us. That's just culture war things to me. I don't want to be like it's just culture war, but it's like at the end of the day, these people whose rights we're fighting for may not even have a life the way that these people are operating. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost important. I feel like it's more important to even give them a chance to live if they want to live than to go through and fight them about what they can and can't do with that life. Race, gender, and sexuality hate crimes redefined, basically. So, we need to have a different discussion about what a race hate crime is, what a gender hate crime is, and what a sexuality hate crime is, to be honest, and what they are and how they're reinforced. Because a lot of people can do a lot of things that are racist. They really just hunted down this FedEx worker, yo. They just hunted down this black man. For why? For no fucking reason. They got on the highway and he still was after being shot. Now, of course, me being the person I am, I'm like, y'all should have been smart and just shot the tire out. But I have not actually done that. However, I'm just saying, okay, but they were hunting this man down. It was two white dudes hunting down this black man. Hunting this black man down. Why? Just for being a FedEx driver in their neighborhood. Existing while black. EWB. Existing while black. Okay. Now, I do feel like, again, with that media reform, clear information about testing and ingredients on major products. So how are these products being tested? And, a lot of things that we take, especially a lot of people will take medicine and stuff like that, they are tested on animals. People take things on, people test things on animals, people test things on a whole bunch of different people and situations and things that have nothing to do with the people who actually get prescribed them. They should really be redone. And especially information about that or how that's being out there should definitely be changed over for how it's being presented. Now, tiny houses and affordable housing, and again, reconstructing the dead neighborhoods. I said that earlier, but again, tiny houses to me have been a big thing for a lot of people. That I've been seeing a lot of people can sit there and do that and have a tiny house. Everything like that, they can fit their life in there again, because a lot of people are becoming more digital, things like that. There's less material things to have around, and honestly, if you want people to have more communal spaces or everything like that, they might be easier to do that. I know I've seen when I was in college, they had these they had parking lot domes that they were just working on next, where it's like a little mini trailer that people live in, because they thought that we would be so overpopulated that we would have nowhere to stay. And I'm like, look, the earth is kind of killing that off itself. As COVID came along, whatever you want to do, the earth is saying, hell no, there's too many of y'all and y'all killing me. We gotta get rid of the humans. The humans is no good for earth. natural selection has come along, okay? Evolution has come along. The time has come along where they said, y'all fucking up. It's time for you to go. Exit stage right. Like, I wouldn't have any issues with the lions and the tigers and the bears were here. They weren't killing me. Now, of course, I do also, the last two things are proper planting and vegetation age to grow more things in more places. There are different soils and things like that, and maybe this is from being like in around farm area, but I'm thinking that we can make more farm area better just by exploring what, like, if we mess with soil and do, science and things that, like things that we're supposed to be doing, the scientists that I feel like we're supposed to be getting paid, not the military scientists. Like, if we do, work with those things, we might be able to have some more of a chance or some longevity to stay even longer till maybe we can find a better solution or figure out some other way to kind of get something to fix this earth. And lastly, and this is going to be the big one that I think for a lot of people, corporations are not treated as people. Corporations are not lawfully treated as people. They're not thought about as people. They are not people. People work there. They are not people. They're made up of people. A corporation is not a person. A corporation is a corporation. A corporation is made up of people who should be lawfully enforced separately than the corporation itself. The corporation is made up of a whole bunch of members and a whole bunch of things like, distribution, things like that. If you're going to treat them, or if you're going to act them, or enforce them as a group of people, a mass of people. Because generally, I do not believe most of these companies are one person. Now, there may be some single company out there, some, single company people, or like small company people, but either way it goes, like, they're people who own a small company. They're not the company themselves. Like, the company is a different thing from a person. There's a different entity, a different being. That's why you have to go out there and sign up a different entity. It's the company. So, legally, you have to sign up. They give you all this paperwork. And spiritual people be talking about paperwork like that. I'm like, your birth chart's a paperwork, honey. Birth chart's paperwork. They don't have it put it on paper no more. It's a star map. But when you write it down, it was paperwork. So you getting your blueprints from everywhere. I'm just saying. So this is my 2022 take of the half-times, midterms. I hope some of these things pop up, if not all of these things pop up. More people talk about these things, more people get more organized and doing these things and get an understanding of what's really going on and how they really, depending on who you are, where you are, what you are, there's a whole bunch of different factors, including class, which I didn't even get a chance to talk about, because we have a dwindling middle class, and there's more and more people who are getting poorer and poorer, and there's fewer and fewer people getting richer and richer. So it's there's a lot of things to be discussed. Okay, this is what's hidden in the shadows. This is not anything scary. Although it could be for some people. I don't know, they may find it scary. Anyway, just know, understand, and believe that we can do something. Because we don't have to. Can't be waiting around for nobody else. You can see they already ain't doing shit. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're watching the video, the Shadowcast podcast on YouTube, if you want to see the video version of the podcast. And I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day. Namaste. Yes. Okay, so if anybody out there wants to be on the podcast, I would love to also have guests on here. I'm just going to put that out there. I didn't have time to put it on there, but it's a special treat for the video people, I guess. So let me know if, because I want to have some people on here to talk about some things. I really want to know what's going on, from time to time. May not be every single episode, but I'm just gonna put that out there for the people. So let me know what we need to do to grow. Yes. And I want to say thank you again for watching. I hope you have a beautiful, blessed day. And remember, we are the Assassination.